Hello and welcome to another episode of Melbourne 22. I'm Aaron McCarthy.
And I'm Anna Burgess. Now, on tonight's show, we dive into the depths of cinema in Melbourne.
That we do. We've got a member of Melbourne Ice coming on in.
We get into some insight of how it is, what it's like to be a guitar teacher, and we meet a group that want to show you how you can live more sustainably.
All that and more coming right up on Melbourne 22. Hello and welcome to Melbourne 22. We've got a packed show in store for you tonight, but just before we get started, here's a little reminder that you can follow us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just to keep up to date with things. You know how it is, right here on Melbourne 22. And if you have anything that you'd like to share or ask us, keep it clean, but just don't hesitate to get in touch at the addresses below.
And breathe and out. Yeah, that's right, Aaron. Now, Melbourne is a city that loves the arts and has a particular passion for cinema. Melbourne was once known as the city of theatres, with some theatres dating as far back as 1901.
That's a long way back, Anna.
I know, I was alive. No, I wasn't.
So why is it the Melbournians, or Melbournes, as I like to call them, can't get enough of the cinema? Let's find out.
If you think about Melbourne's culture in the past, fledgling artists and actors coming together and creating art in new and interesting ways that was possibly, outside of what had been done in the past.
I think there are a lot of people who are discovering the joys of what you might call classic cinema. Certainly the joys of non-mainstream cinema.
This is kind of an age where people want to impress one another with what they do with their spare time.
There's such a wide variety of different films to enjoy and sit back.
I think that Melburnians are always in search of the next interesting thing to do. I think society's heading in a direction where people want to be doing things in order to tell other people that they've done them. This weekend I went and I saw this incredible movie, or this weekend I went and saw this incredible play, or I went to this bar that I had to walk down 2 laneways and it was behind a door that didn't say.
You can go for a good storyline, or you can sit back and just have a laugh at some cheesy comedies.
We all love the Astor for many, many different reasons, but to pull together a lot of them, it is unique, because a lot of what we do preserves ways of cinema going.
The future of cinema and future of kind of content viewing is at a precipice. There's a lot of things that are on the horizon that we've got to anticipate. I think that it's kind of the foundations of culture in Melbourne that have helped to create what we all know and I think we all kind of appreciate by living here.
I do think we're very well served for it.
I think the most exciting thing is obviously seeing the film itself.
Just getting lost for a couple of hours, just getting completely enthralled.
The thing that really makes a movie going special is the shared experience. It's about being in that audience. And when a movie's really great, you can kind of all react together, and I think that's a really fun part of going to the movies.
Anna, isn't it fantastic that we can still get out there and have that amazing old-fashioned cinema experience with some of those beautiful theatres we've still got on hand for us?
Absolutely. Just the other night I went to the Rivoli, so beautiful, just so art deco, and then the other day I went to the Sun Theatre and they make homemade choc tops over there, and the Astor Theatre. I know, we'll get there in a moment.
Yeah.
Now, we're actually joined today by 2 people who have a very strong interest in film, Tara Judah from the Astor Theatre and Ross King from the Cinema and Theatre History Society. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Now, Ross, you've had a lot of cinema experience in your time. How did you get involved in cinema in the first place?
Oh, I became fascinated with it as a child. We used to go to our family used to go to the movies quite a lot, and I always imagined that what was happening on the screen was actually happening behind the curtain, so that the curtain would reveal all of this. And my older brother pointed out to the beam of light above our head and said, "It comes from up there," and that got me hooked, and I went on from there. Had the interest, and as I got older, became an assistant projectionist, and then later projectionist, and an exhibitor in small country situations, and that's how it all happened. Yeah.
So Tara, have you noticed any changes in our cinema going habits in recent years?
Yeah, absolutely. We've noticed quite an interesting change, is that people are really a lot more interested in going to the cinema as an event that they can get involved with. So really audience participation is where things seem to be moving to. Getting dressed up in the likes of Rocky Horror Picture Show, singing along with things like Grease Sing Along, you know, even a few nuns and Nazis for the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, right.
Now, what do you think the future of cinema in Melbourne looks like?
Yeah, I think that this is really where things are going to be going. That kind of resurgence of cult classics, those films that people are excited about seeing up on the big screen once again, things that they enjoyed in their childhood, things that they can bring their own children to come and see. It's a real event to go to the cinema. It's got to be something that's different to just watching it on DVD in your home.
There's just nothing like that feeling. The lights go down, you're talking about it before, and do you still get a buzz? I mean, how long have you been at the Astor Theatre for?
Yeah, I've been at the Astor for about 2.5 years now, and my first experience of the Astor was as a teenager, and I saw the 70mm print of Hamlet on its re-release, which just completely blew me away. And to walk into the doors of the Astor, the minute that you step inside, the whole rest of the world slips away, and you're transported into the film world, into another time. You really can just click off from reality, engage with the film, and sit there in the dark with hundreds of other people who are sharing that really same special moment as you.
Yeah, it's so right, isn't it? It's like comparing sort of, you know, a plastic, you know, imported car from China as compared to an old classic, you know, the big steel frame chassis, you know, the leather, the smell. It's really an experience for the senses as well, isn't it? Because not only do you just walk in there and see an amazing visual experience with the movie, but you've actually got the theatre itself and the surrounds and the smells and the taste, the sights, the sounds. It's got a rich sound to it. Can you remember your first cinema going experience?
Yeah, it's difficult to recall the exact first one, but I think it might have been The Never-Ending Story. At least that's the first one I can recall. It came back to me recently. A beautiful film, and such artistry as well. I mean, Wolfgang Petersen's a complete genius, really.
And Ross, any ones that stand out to you from your childhood?
Oh, the first one I remember seeing was a film called Sitting Pretty with Clifton Webb. That was when I was very young, but there have been many since that I would say are my multiple favourite films.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. It was so lovely to meet you both. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys. Well, each week we'll be hitting the streets to ask the public a series of on-the-spot questions. This week's question is, what is your favourite movie and why?
My favourite movie would have to be anything by Elvis Presley, Dean Martin, Tony Curtis, and of course Jerry Lewis get in there as well.
And Moulin Rouge.
Definitely Gone with the Wind. The house burning down at the end is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, mine's Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal. It's an absolute classic.
Snatch would be up there. That's probably one of my favourite ones.
Well, one is Gone with the Wind, one's To Kill a Mockingbird, the old classics.
The Big Lebowski.
My favourite movie of all time would probably have to be a movie called Benchwarmers.
I think I'm going to have to say Dogs in Space.
Love Bug.
My favourite movie of all time has to be The Good, The Bad and The Ugly. And the reason why that's my favourite is because there has never been a more badass movie ever made than that particular film.
Coming up next, we talk to Todd Graham from Melbourne Ice.